Hey guys, so I've got my hands on the Apple Watch Series 9, and you might be wondering, Cheryl, what are you talking about? That looks exactly the same as your Apple Watch Series 8. Well, yeah, but it's what's inside that counts. So visually, not much change from the Watch Series 8. You still get the 41mm and 45mm case sizes in aluminum as well as stainless steel. The aluminum models come in the typical midnight, which I have here, starlight, silver, product red, and a new pink, which I don't have with me, but I have seen and worn it on my wrist, and it's really nice. A little feminine, but I think it's a really nice color that's relatively subtle on the wrist, not like bright pink. The midnight color hasn't changed at all really, which is nice for people who want a dark watch. The first big change is the screen, for one. Although it's the same size, it now caps out at 2000 nits peak brightness, which is how bright the Apple Watch Ultra 1st Gen and the iPhone 14 Pro lineup could get. Basically, this means that even if you're out under very bright sunlight, your watch face will be visible and legible in almost every condition. I legit cannot think of how bright it has to be for you to not be able to read a smartwatch at 2000 nits brightness, but if it's that bright out, you probably have bigger problems than not being able to see your watch. The face can also dim down to a minimum of 1 nit when you're in sleep focus. If you turn on always on mode and your wrist is lowered, the face still remains at 500 nits max brightness. Another change is the upgrade to the processor. The Series 9 runs on the S9 System in Package or SIP with a dual-core CPU that has 60% more transistors than the Series 8 chip, and the GPU inside is about 30% faster. Basically, you get even better performance out of your watch. Animations are smoother, and while there might not be a very big difference if you're coming from a Series 8, the performance difference will definitely be more noticeable if you're upgrading from something like an SE or an older Series 4 or something like that. There's also a new 4-core neural engine which processes machine learning or ML tasks faster. Because of that, Siri requests can now be processed directly on the watch. If you've ever asked Siri to start a workout or whatever and ended up waiting and waiting for something to happen, it might be because your query had to be routed to the cloud, and poor internet connections can slow things down. For stuff that doesn't require information from the internet, it can all be done on device now, so requests should be much snappier. Oh, there's also another chip included, the 2nd generation ultra-wideband chip, which is also included in the iPhone 15 lineup of phones. So with this chip, there are a bunch of new things you can do. Instead of pinging your phone and looking for it by tracking down the source of the sound, you can use precision finding, which is similar to what we already do with AirTags. You get a UI pop-up that tells you how far your phone is and in what direction. Then, as you walk towards it, you'll be able to ping it at any time to get sound, and the watch will tell you when you've reached the approximate area that your phone is in. I've done pretty extensive testing with the AirTags when they first came out, including getting someone to hide them in a 3-story house before I went on a hunt to find them. They've never disappointed me, and from initial testing, the watch works perfectly fine in trying to track down a missing phone. Thanks to the S9 SIP, the Series 9 still maintains an 18-hour battery life, even though there are a bunch of new features added in, thanks to a 25% improvement in power efficiency. There is fast charging, and Apple claims that your watch will charge from 0 to 80% in 45 minutes or so, which is the same time frame stated for 0 to 80 for the Series 7 and 8. So yeah. Oh, and Apple has switched to a nice braided cable instead of the rubber charging one previously, which should be more durable and also avoids the rubber getting sticky after a while. There aren't any new sensors included in this generation, unfortunately, so you still get the temperature sensing and cycle tracking for menstruation, the blood oxygen sensor, the ECG, and all those. I guess we'll have to wait till next year to see if blood glucose tracking will come to the watch. A sneaky addition to the Series 9 that wasn't really publicized during the keynote is the change from 32GB of storage to 64GB of storage. So now you'll have more onboard storage for apps and the likes if you need it. Features-wise, the watch comes with WatchOS 10 right out of the box. And something you'll have to take note of is that your iPhone must be running iOS 17 or you will not be able to pair your watch with your phone. This isn't a big deal if you're running it with the newest iPhone 15s, as those come with iOS 17 out of the box as well. But if you have a 14 or older, you'll have to update your iPhone first. There are a bunch of changes that come with WatchOS 10, such as Apple changing the way you open your command center. It's now the side button instead of swiping up, which now opens your Smart Stack that shows a bunch of widgets such as weather, your calendar, activity rings, and stuff like that. Also, for the cyclists out there, WatchOS 10 allows for connections to Bluetooth cycling accessories, so thumbs up for that, I suppose. Now, something that may have caught your eye at the keynote is the new double tap gesture. This isn't entirely new because we've had something similar to this under accessibility features or assistive touch for quite a while now. What Apple has done here is to simplify and improve on a single gesture to bring it to the masses. So this new gesture where you tap your thumb and index finger together allows for you to do a few different things. 1. You can scroll through your Smart Stack to see your widgets. 2. The gesture activates the primary button in apps. So for example, you get a call on your watch. The primary button or function here would be to pick up the call. So if you double tap, the call gets picked up without you having to touch the pickup button on the screen. Another double tap after that will activate the primary function when a call is in progress, which is hanging up the call. It's relatively handy if your dominant hand is busy or dirty and you don't want to touch your watch screen. Unfortunately, there is no way to customize or change the primary button or function. So if you hate taking calls like me, you can't use this to just hang up the call. There are a bunch of features using the gesture, like replying to messages via dictation, pausing, resuming and ending timers, snoozing alarms, and such. I've tested this out, and while very light taps don't activate the gesture, you don't really have to use a lot of force either. The feature uses data from the accelerometer, gyroscope, and optical heart sensor, and I would say that it's actually quite accurate in detecting when you're actually doing the gesture. Do note that if you're in the middle of a workout, the gesture is disabled to prevent accidental activations. That's also the case if your watch has water lock activated. Now, let's talk about Apple's big message with the Apple Watch: sustainability. I know it's not the most interesting thing to talk about in a review, so I'll try to be brief. The Apple Watch Series 9 is Apple's first ever carbon neutral product if paired with one of the new Sport Loop bands. On the packaging, which is 100% fiber-based material, you will see this new green carbon neutral logo, which indicates that the product is clearly carbon neutral. The packaging has also been redesigned and made smaller, allowing for more watches to fit on a single pallet during shipping. The watch band packaging for the Sport Loop is new. I don't have an old watch band box to show you the difference, but it used to open up from the bottom and there's like a trifold packaging insert with the watch band in the middle. Now, this flap lifts up and you get a cardboard insert with the band and a paper insert. But the stainless steel models aren't carbon neutral, and the new fine woven bands and silicone sports bands aren't carbon neutral either. Additionally, the electricity used in manufacturing is 100% clean energy, and Apple is investing in clean energy projects to generate enough clean energy to match 100% of the expected electricity used for charging the watch over its expected lifespan. Apple will also ship 50% or more of the combined weight of the carbon neutral Apple Watches and bands via non-air modes, so ocean freight, trains, stuff like that. And I think that's about it for the Apple Watch Series 9. It's an incremental update over the Series 8, with most of the changes being software-based. And I have to say, if you're already on the Series 8, it's most likely not something you'll be looking at purchasing, with the aluminum model starting at $399 US or $599 Singapore dollars. But for people who are on the Series 6 or older, I think it's a decent upgrade. Of course, if your watch battery is still going strong and you can hold out for another year, there are rumors that Apple is going to have a major Apple Watch revamp for its 10th anniversary. But as always, we'll only know when things actually get announced, and it's an entire year away from now. Anyway, that's about it for me. Let me know down below if you guys have any questions or comments. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. Till the next one, see you guys.